What's up, citizens of Gotham? My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Political Vigilante. We're all making Gotham great again. You're shaving your knuckles for justice because you want. You're coming here, right? I'm assuming because you know the corporate media is either lying to you, not telling you certain things, or giving you a smear and a spin. They have an agenda. I definitely have an agenda. My agenda is I'm an anti-war progressive, and I'm calling out the truth. And I don't care who, Republican, Democrat, I don't care. If they're lying, which if they're in power, they probably are. So some people in power are a little crazy. Former Bill Clinton advisor Hillary Clinton thinks God put her on earth to be president. This came out October 28th. This was on The Hill, tweeted this out. This is an excerpt from this. Dick Morris said Sunday that Hillary Clinton most likely wants to get into the 2020 presidential race because she thinks God put her on the earth to be president. Look, I'm all for like having a purpose. You know, I feel like I was put on this earth to make people laugh and to be, and this show is like be informative and funny and go to the truth, right? But God told me, like God whispered in my ear, Graham, do progressive dick jokes, and I'm doing it. Like, is she crazy or is she entitled? She feels entitled to it. Shocking. Hillary Clinton doesn't seem like anyone with a sense of entitlement. Like rich white ladies don't typically, I mean, the wealthy in general of any ethnicity never have a sense of entitlement. That's why they're wealthy, because they're just better than us. She feels compelled to do it. She feels that God put her on the earth to do it. She's got to wait until Biden drops out because he's obviously next in line for it. And if he goes away, there's an opening for her. Wow. So get ready for some smear campaign against Joe Biden or something's going to happen. Remember in the 2008 Democratic primary where there were those pictures of Obama wearing Muslim garb and he was called a Muslim terrorist and everybody thought, oh, it must be the Republicans doing this. But why would it come out during the Democratic primary? And it was later revealed that it was the Clintons that came up with that. Oh boy. Watch out, Joe. The question is are there enough moderates to beat Elizabeth Warren, the leftist, he asked. Okay, so let's be real clear what this is. Okay, first of all, it's saying the Democratic establishment is just saying Liz Warren is the front runner and she's too left. Doesn't mention Bernie Sanders, who is leading in the polls since the last debate and getting endorsed by AOC and Omar and Tlaib. This is now, he is the biggest threat. So what happened, right? First AOC endorses Bernie. Then Hillary makes this massive overreach by calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset. And a sitting congresswoman who is a major in the Army National Guard, who is a combat veteran deployed to Iraq. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said she was a Russian asset and then started backpedaling because what happened? Tulsi's numbers went up, her polling went up, her donations went up. Hillary cannot handle, she is such a narcissist, like all of these sociopathic, powerful ruling elites. She cannot handle the fact that maybe another woman is going to be the first president of the United States of America. She is so crazed with her having to have power. The Clintons, that's why they will lie. That's why they do all that stuff. Hillary Clinton, who flight logs show she was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane twice. Bill Clinton was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane 26 times. Ghislaine Maxwell, who 2 years after Virginia Roberts and another woman accused her of raping and trafficking them, and Ghislaine Maxwell settled out of court, which doesn't say that she's innocent, Hillary Clinton invited her to her daughter's wedding. Just so we know who Hillary Clinton is. She feels entitled to be president because God wants her to be. That's not crazy at all. That's not crazy at all. And people on the left, of course, the Clintonites, defend her. She's, of course. Remember this? Remember when the left, Donald Trump's crazy, and the evangelicals, which is true, the evangelicals have hijacked the Republican Party, and they did it in the late 70s, early 80s. Watch that documentary on Netflix about the family. The National Prayer Breakfast that we thought was just this organic thing that would happen because, oh, we're a Christian country. No, the family started that. It's so that evangelical Christians can help affect policy. So that's what this is all about. This came out in 2017. Donald Trump's spiritual advisor claims God elevated him to the presidency. Our president, 100% a Christian who understands receiving faith by the grace of the Lord. Right? Remember that? Everyone on the left, anytime they say this, oh, we call them, and oftentimes rightfully so. Mike Pence is an evangelical, which I think he's more dangerous than Trump. Trump is just a narcissist like the Clintons. He's a power-hungry narcissist who's been spoiled his entire life, just like the Clintons. I mean, they'll talk about Papaw and Meemaw back in Arkansas, back in the day, but they've had privilege for the last 50 years. Let's call it what it is. So everybody on the left always like to say, well, the right wing is, hijacked by evangelicals and the Christian right with their homophobic rhetoric and trying to lobby in that direction, and they're anti-abortion and all that stuff. So that's dangerous when they say, so Hillary, though, can just say, God told me to do this. But when Trump does it, I mean, this is a little crazy. Trump is the greatest president in history. Of course he is. He was chosen by God. This is what this guy said February this year. The CPAC 2019, American Conservative Union, right? So that's like, whoa, be careful. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. And rightfully so. But Hillary Clinton says it, and it's okay. But this is why I love Twitter. Sometimes it can be annoying. We have people like Sarah Abdullah, who I highly recommend you follow. Lebanese report. She's like Lebanese, and she's just a geopolitical commentator. That's what she calls herself. And she points stuff out. This is after the former Clinton advisor, when that from the Hill, God put her in the earth to be president. This woman helped bring mass destruction, death, and chaos to Iraq, Palestine, Lebanon, Honduras, Libya, Syria, Ukraine, Yemen, Haiti, just to name a few, and yet thinks she was put on earth by God to fulfill some righteous purpose. Wow, Hillary Clinton is truly a sociopath. Please follow her. Please follow her. She's fantastic. But that's, Hillary Clinton can just say that. When the right says it, they're called crazy religious wingnuts, and fairly accurate. But these neoliberals don't call Hillary Clinton out on this. But let's be real clear here too. This tweet was designed to get us, A, not talking about how she accused a sitting congresswoman and major in the Army National Guard of being a Russian asset. So insane was that accusation that people on CNN, Van Jones, and I forget that other woman's name, went, whoa, what are you talking about? When CNN says, what are you talking about? You know you've overreached. She's then helped Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi has just called Hillary a career warmonger, the queen of the warmongers. And Tulsi gets all this interview time on the major media networks, so then they got to come up with this. This was a former Clinton advisor. This was choreographed by the Clintons. But luckily we got people like Sarah calling her out too. So that's why you get your news here, folks, to sift through. When something like this happens that the major media covers, they're not talking about it in this way. I guarantee you the Hill isn't showing Sarah Abdullah's tweet pointing out all of Hillary Clinton's career warmongering, right? Did God ask you to bomb these people? Did God tell you to turn Libya, killing Gaddafi, which you thought was, you laughed at, and then there's open slave markets? Did God tell you to do that? Did God tell you to sit on the board of Walmart and vote against Walmart employees getting a raise to $12 an hour? Did God tell you to do that? Was it God that made sure you got $600,000 from 3 speeches from Goldman Sachs? Was it God's hand in the Podesta email showing how corrupt your whole campaign of the DNC was? Did God tell you to, after Debbie Wasserman Schultz was fired from the DNC for the Podesta emails revealing how she cheated, your campaign then hired her? Did God tell you to do that? Did God tell you to vote for the war in Iraq as a senator and the Patriot Act as a senator? Did God tell you to help Obama go from 2 wars to 7 when you were Secretary of State? Did God tell you to accept donations in the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation from 20 countries, and then when you became Secretary of State in 2009, all 20 of those countries got defense contracts? Was that God telling you that helped with all this war and mayhem that Sarah Abdullah's pointing out? I'm just trying to get clear where God comes in here. When God said, was it God who told you to be against gay marriage up until about 2013, just before 2014, and then when Obama passed the law, then you became on board with it because you knew you were going to run for president again in 2016? Was God in there for that? Surely God wanted you to have pedophile sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell at your daughter's wedding, right? Did God want you to ride on Epstein's plane? Don't invoke the name of God when you're just a power-hungry warmonger whose husband flies around with pedophiles and probably is one himself. You used to be friends with the Trumps. This is the thing. They always try to make this big distinction. The Trumps and the Clintons battling are just 2 rival country clubs is what this is about. 2 ruling class elites having a pissing match, and we all have to suffer it. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. I can only do this through member support. Support what I'm doing. Patreon.com/Graham Elwood, Rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are ad-free on Rockfin. Another great way is just, if you're like Graham, money's tight, watch the ads all the way through on YouTube. Don't click skip ad. Even open up a separate browser window. That helps. Like, subscribe. YouTube is unsubscribing people. Make sure you are subscribed. Even if you've done it in the past, hit the bell notification button. I go live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And I also will be doing November 7th. I will be going live after the climate discussion or town hall or whatever they're calling it that the Weather Channel is having on November 7th. Ron Placone and I are going to Australia for the Progressive Comedy Tour, November 14th, Melbourne, November 15th, Adelaide, November 17th, Sydney, November 22nd, Perth, December 13th, Progressive Comedy Tour comes to the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club. December 14th, we come to Hollywood. And then tour dates all through 2020. Seattle, Portland, Tucson, San Francisco, Orlando, just added Miami, and other cities like that. We're going to be doing Cleveland. We're going to be doing Detroit. Looks like Cincinnati's coming online. Don't miss it, folks. Go to GrahamElwood.com for all your tour dates. Thank you so much.